Okay, so we are now going to teach you how to make graphics using a program that is inside Adobe Premiere Pro, which is called Title. This is really a cool little program because you don't have to open up a separate program to make it work. You just go right inside Premiere and it's all ready to go for you. You go up inside File and New. You come over here, about halfway down is a program called Title. It is going to give you this little screen that allows you to title whatever graphic you're going to make. It's forcing you to save it so that you don't lose your work. So let's call this the creepy car for no good reason. Okay, so here is the window that you're going to be working in. Now you can see this is where you're going to be creating your text. If you go over here to your toolbar list, you'll see you have a main selection tool over here just like you would inside Premiere, and you also have a text tool. We're going to use the text tool and go right here and type the creepy little car. Okay, that's the name of our movie here, which I would never really make, but you know. So now if I kept my text tool, it wants to just keep creating text, right? So I'm going to go back to my main selection tool and then I'm going to grab it and move it around the screen like I want. Now you can grab the edges and try to increase the font size by doing this. The problem is you tend to stretch them on accident and then they look weird. So what I do is go over here to the font style, and under transform I just shut that thing down. Usually just close the thing down because it's just annoying, but there's stuff in there if you want it. I don't want that right now. So if you look down here, here's your font changers, but here's your font size, third one down. And you come over here, just click and hold on that, and you can see as you drag it left and right, you can make the graphic bigger or smaller. Now, if you want to change the color on it, you come down here to the fill area. Fill just refers to whatever color is filling the text. You can change this solid to all kinds of different things. I would keep it on solid for about 99% of what you're doing. If you wanted to change the fill color, you can click on this little color thing here, and a little color tab. We're going to go with, say, how about yellow? There it is. Okay. Now we don't want strokes. I'm not going to talk about or show you this yet, but this is a shadow right here. And I am not going to put that on quite yet, because I want to show you the difference between a text with and without a shadow. At this point, if you are done with your text, all you have to do is X out. But one quick thing, I'm going to undo this. These are some pre-made fonts down here. You can just click on these and it will change to whatever you click on. Feel free to use those if you like any of them. I'm going to undo back to my original creepy little car. And I'm going to get out of this. Now there's no save button, which drives me nuts. Nothing has a save button today. So you just X out, and here it is already imported into your project for you. That's kind of nice. It's there waiting for you to go. So you're going to click and drag it. You're going to put it in the track above the video track, and you can see there's a transparency behind it. And the problem is, you can see that text is sort of a light color, and it just doesn't stand out from that light colored sky very well. If you were to pull it down in front of the darker colors of the house, it would stand out pretty nicely, but not up here. Well, there's a solution for that, and it involves just putting a drop shadow on it. So just open it back up. You'll see over here where it says shadow, just put a check mark in there, and you can see right here that it put a drop shadow on it. You can adjust this however you want it. X out, and you can see it's already put a drop shadow on it, and you can see how much better that text stands out now with that drop shadow on it. So this is like a piece of video. You can stretch it, make it longer or shorter, you can move it around. It's very, very convenient to use because you really have some flexibility with it. Now let's say that you have spent a lot of time working on your text. You really went through a lot of fonts, you went through a lot of colors, you went through a lot of sizes and different things, and just the right drop shadow amount, and you got this perfect text, but you need to make about 10 of these things. Well, you don't want to have to recreate that text every single time you make it, right? You want to be able to just go back and say, okay, I've made a good one. let's just keep making all the other text just like this one. Don't fall into the trap like I did when I first used this and tried to do a copy and paste, because if you copy it and paste it and try to, you know, do one of these things where you copy it and paste it out here, if you change this graphic, you're going to change this graphic because it treats it like the exact same graphic, just a duplicate of it. So what you want to do is open it up, go up here next to your text button. There's a little tab up here and it says new title based on current title. So what you're going to do is make that new title by pressing that button. It's going to give you a screen to give it a new name. We're going to call this Director. And you can see actually down here it's already created the new graphic for you and imported it in. I'm going to go up into here. I'm just going to double click on it because it's already created. So I'm going to put directed by Ryan Hunter. And just for fun, I'm going to put it right down here. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. We'll make him the director of the creepy little car. Okay, that's going to be good for me. I'm going to X out, and it's going to be right here. Here's the director graphic. I'm going to pull it in, and I'm going to shorten that up just a little bit. Okay, and as I said, these are like pieces of video, so say that you wanted them to not come in abruptly like this, you wanted them to dissolve in, you could come over here to your effects tab. You could grab say a cross dissolve if you wanted it to dissolve in. You could shorten that up even if you wanted to. Put this over here. Whoops, it didn't take, did it? There we go. We want our director to come in a very dramatic fashion, so he's going to come in very, very slowly. No, we don't. Okay. So then, you have graphics for the creepy little car. Why would Mr. Hunter want to make a movie called The Creepy Little Car? Who knows? Anyway, so that's how you use title to make text. It's really not that complicated. Once you use it a few times, you're going to find out that it's really pretty simple to use. Okay, so now we're going to show you one more little thing about title, and that is how to use the shapes. Let's say, for example, that you wanted to just make a super, right? You needed something very quick. We're going to go into File, New, Title, open this back up. We're going to call this Super Back. Super. Okay, you notice over here in your toolbars on the left side, you've got your selection tool and your text tool. Well, come down here and you can see you've got some shapes. So I'm going to grab this rectangular one and I'm just going to click and drag, and you can see I'm making a big shape here. I'm going to change that color to maybe some kind of blue. I'm going to make another shape here, and I'm going to change that to, say, a dark blue. Whatever. I'm going to grab my selection tool again so I can move things around. I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to put this right here. Let's say about right there. Okay, so this is going to be a name and a title. So now I'm going to grab my text tool. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to put Carter Jansen. And then I'm going to grab my selection tool again so I can move it, and I'm going to put him right down there. But you can see the letters are dark colored, so they don't show up at all there. They don't really show up too well there. I'm going to shrink him down just a little bit to fit inside my text box a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is what most people hesitate to do, but you shouldn't, is to turn that text into like an off-white color. There's nothing wrong with white. Oop, not that. I meant to get that. Everybody's always afraid to make white text because they think it's boring or something, but if you look on the posters all around you, you will see everything is in white text. It's totally okay to have white text. In fact, it's preferable in many cases, so I'm going to shrink that down a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to copy and paste this. It pasted it right on top of itself. So I'm going to put this one down here. We're going to call this Iowa Western Community College student. Okay, I'm going to shrink this down. I'm going to use this text font up here this time. Make it a little bit smaller. Yeah. Okay. there we go. So now if you wanted to, you could shrink these up, and you could leave those long if you liked them. You could do whatever you want, and you've got your super built. You can just come over here, you can grab it. It's the super. You can see I'll put it up here in video track 3. We've got 2 graphics now, and you could grab that and move it around. You could make it a little smaller. If Carter was being interviewed and his person was on the screen, then you could put this up as an identifying graphic for him or something. So that's how you use the shape tools inside Title. And those graphics are really what give your productions a little extra polish and make them look professional as opposed to what amateurs do. So really learn how to do that, kind of develop your own style of making graphics, and you'll find that it really does enhance your videos quite a bit.